warmly welcome you for another edition of In Conversation brought to you by Daily Mirror. And today I have with me not just a guest, but she is the face behind a very sought after series brought to you by Daily Mirror as well. And it has created a holistic learning experience in an array of fields, and she's able to champion that into another new season. So I'm really excited to talk to one of our very own, Ayanthi Philip. She is the face of One on One with Ayanthi. Thank you so much, Ayanthi, for joining in with me. I am very excited to talk about the upcoming season.
Hi, Hirushi. Thank you for having me.
Yes, so there's a lot of things to talk about, especially with a successful takeoff with the first season. So before we dive into what's in the pipeline, I would like to know how the experience has been so far in collaboration with Daily Mirror One on One.
The journey has been amazing. I must thank Rishmi, the editor, and the Daily Mirror online team. It all started last year when we were all in lockdown, and I realized there were so many people with well-being issues. Deepal Suryarachi agreed to do an interview on mindfulness, and we reached over 40,000 viewers tuning in. There were great insights and helpful tips, and this set the path for one-on-one, where it became a platform for exposing hard facts on child abuse, environmental concerns, giving a platform for entrepreneurs who had made it globally. So yes, the journey has been really rewarding, I would say.
Yes, and definitely there's so much content out there that justifies that journey because we really enjoy the episodes as well. And also talking about the next step of One on One, you're taking this to another level. You're going to elevate into another level, which is why I want to know that you're hoping to utilize the word elevate as the key banner to approach through the new season. So what made you decide that you're going to name this season Elevate?
Yes, elevate. With the premise of elevating companies, businesses, people, we will have gurus of different industries giving their expert views and advice, which will be valuable tips for the audience. So learning is developing, learning is growing, learning is elevating. The program can help to broaden perspectives, understand what is done internationally, understand best practices, processes, and systems.
Also talking about the incorporation of global blueprints, because we see, as I mentioned, like we had a chat about this before, and I recall you bringing in your interest in bringing in global blueprints, systems that are already creating change around the world and trying to find creative ways of localizing it and implementing it on a ground level here in Sri Lanka. And you want to bring experts who have a global perspective on it to also talk about it. In your opinion, how important is it for us to be inspired by global blueprints that could potentially work within the Sri Lankan realm?
Having trained and coached internationally, I find we need to make a concerted effort in raising the standards in Sri Lanka if it is to be an international business hub and a tourist destination. The only companies that have adopted global practices in Sri Lanka are those who are compelled to do so as their global customer base demands them to. A good example being the key players in the apparel industry. They have adopted best practices and they are contained within a few companies. And there is knowledge transfer only if employees transfer. Unless, of course, there is a strategic training plan from executives right through to leadership. So the question is, are companies ready to expand? Do they have ready leaders and managers to lead new teams in Sri Lanka and offshore? Are companies aware of global practices, policies, performance management systems, ERP systems, process improvement systems, international service standards? Are companies geared to motivate teams, stimulate creativity, and innovative mindsets? In the more developed world, what's promoted is a coaching culture where managers and leaders coach their teams. If there is a performance issue, It leads to a conversation to understand, not a scolding to pass on judgment. In the developed world, companies use psychometric assessments to recruit and develop their staff. And when I say the more developed world, I'm talking about America, the UK, parts of Europe, and Australia, and of course, Singapore too. Employees need to find the right fit and enjoy their work, and employers have the responsibility to ensure they recruit those who are a good fit into the company culture and also the type of work. So there's a lot to learn, and I believe there's a lot to be done. Another thing is, in addition to all of this, my research shows second and third generation family business issues where a proper family charter and governance system is not outlined. So here's another thing, family charter for family businesses. So there's lots to talk about, really, lots.
Definitely, and we hope that we can see more of a global, a globally acclaimed practice, a culture, especially not only in the corporate sector, but whether it be in the public sector or whether it be in a collaborative space, we have so much potential to grow within that sphere. So talking about, yeah, so you want to address certain fields through which we can improve on by bringing experts on board, and we can bring global blueprints and systems into the equation to use them as examples in the situation. So to do this, for this work process to really come into life, do you have a set of key themes that you want to address through the series?
We will have gurus who would help scratch the surface on topics such as performance management, uplifting the service culture, family business governance, diversity in the workplace, inculcating an innovative and creative culture in the workplace. There's so much to talk about. I believe these topics will be useful to companies and businesses at large.
So I would like to know, how can exactly the audience interact? Because as you mentioned, I feel like we, as a society, we have responsibility in really acknowledging what areas we lack knowledge in and how we can move forward from it. So how can the audience, the viewers, the spectators actually participate in your season? Because I remember you saying that you want to make it very interactive and make it practically more approachable. So how can we creatively achieve that?
So perhaps the interaction could be a suggested topic a week before and questions coming in. And perhaps the audience could make suggestions on topics they are interested in. So I believe we can post things before the interview so that the audience can suggest and post questions.
Definitely. So I think we did cover up on all the concerns, especially what I had that I want our audience to know about your season. So all the very best, Ayanthi, with your new series, and hope to see
Thank you
you
so
prosper
much.
in it.
Thank you so much.
And I'm taking this moment for all our viewers also. I'm inviting you guys to stay in touch with Daily Mirror online platforms to start your journey and your experience with Elevate. Thank you, Ayanthi.
Thank you so much.